when the conversation topics are dead. People think of this as a crisis and it's awkward and it's time to leave or whatever. And it is awkward, but it's also an opportunity. Because when all the conversation topics are dead, you get to pick the next topic, which means you can pick any topic that's actually useful to you, and it enters the conversation unopposed. And if she was awkward and didn't know what else to say, she's going to go with that topic because she certainly doesn't have another topic in mind either, right? And so typically wherever you're at in the set, when all the topics run out, do that thing. So if, say you've opened, but you have an established premise, and the conversation topic runs out, say something that establishes premise. And if it's a canned line, fine, right? You open, you talk, conversation topics run out, awkward moment. I can't decide if I love you or hate you. Boom. Conversation's back on, and you just established premise, right? Or say that you talked, you established premise, but now the conversation topics kind of come to an end, and you'd like to evaluate the girl, right? Can I ask you something a little unusual that I don't ask most people? Boom. Now you're leading into an evaluation and taking the conversation where you wanted it to go. So on the one hand, live conversation, dead topics is awkward. And this is a moment where you get nice to meet you, have a nice day, those kind of things. So that's all not great. But if in that moment you treat it as I'm comfortable, I'm okay, and this is actually an opportunity to take the set where it needs to go, it's actually the perfect opportunity. There's a perfect chance to just start directing things, start actually progressing things. Does that make sense?
Same on a date.
And yeah, same on a date. Yeah. Same at any point. And so you can come up with these on the spot, but it's very easy to just have a few canned lines in your back pocket for each of these phases of game that when this happens, you can do it, right? So let's say that conversation's dead and the conversation topic's dead, I don't know what to say. Can't decide if I love you or hate you. You have the most expressive face. I can't decide, let's see, I think you might be the girl my mother warned me about. You know the thing about you that's a total red flag? I've been thinking about it. I don't know if you and I are gonna get along, right? All these things I could just throw in randomly in that moment. If you guys watch a lot of my infield, you'd be like, he said that before, right? Why? Because those are the canned go-tos for this exact situation, which comes up very frequently in game. When you've blanked, conversation topics are dead, you want to achieve something, just use a canned line that achieves that thing. And so if you have some canned premise lines, that's the moment for it. You have some canned evaluation lines, that's a good moment for it.
Can you give us some more of these?
Well, the lines. Wait, which category do you want? More premise? You want some evaluation? What?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, yes to all. Just unload all your lines right now, Todd. So I gave you a bunch of premise lines. Some other premise lines.
You have like a document, right?
Yeah, there's a steal my lines. That gives like five or so for each one. Do you know what I love about you? Or do you know what I hate about you? Either one of those would be premisey. I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. I just made that up, but it's actually not too bad. Those are good for premise. For evaluation, they can ask you something kind of random. At first I didn't like you, but now you're starting to win me over, but let me ask you something. Something like that. So a lot of the evaluation ones aren't even the thing. It's like the lead into the question, and then you can just make up whatever question you want to evaluate them on, right? Do you know what surprises me about you is kind of, it can be premise or evaluation. Can I ask you something kind of random, and then evaluation question, which is, are you ambitious? Have you traveled? Have you traveled alone? What's the last book you read? Pick your evaluation question after that.
Like qualifying?
Huh?
Isn't that
Yeah, evaluation, qualifying, you can, they're almost synonyms, yeah. For narrative is a lot less liney, but if I were to come up with narrative lines, do you know what's surprising to me about us? Or I have to say, I wasn't expecting you to be the way you were. Something like that would be a good narrative line. Or can I tell you something kind of personal? Would be maybe a lead into a narrative line, something like that. And then you can pick the content that works for you for that. But those would be the lead-ins. Those would be the kind of initiators for the new topic. And then you can pick whatever. Can I tell you something kind of personal, and then tell something about your childhood, or tell something about, like, what a relationship's like and that kind of stuff. Once you know the right funnel upon which you're going to keep talking and bullshitting, almost anything that happens there is fine. Right? If I say to you, like, can I tell you something that I don't usually tell people? And she goes, sure. And now you're on the spot. Make something up right now. Just tell us something you don't tell a lot of people.
Oh, about myself.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be good. Just has to fit, it just has to literally fit that definition.
I like to sometimes practice some training mode in video games just to get better at it, so I can play and win.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
That's actually.
This is not fun to tell a girl. She's gonna hate me for that.
Why? She's gonna hate you for it? She's gonna hate you for it.
It's so low value.
It doesn't matter because that's actually kind of the point of something like that, is that it's nerdy and it is something you don't tell people, right? And so I would keep it if I did that, right? I'll play out the good version of how to follow on from that, right? Hey, can I tell you something I don't tell people a lot? No, you can't. Just say yes. Yes, you can. Yeah, okay, cool. So this is gonna be kind of nerdy, but sometimes when I play video games, I actually like play them in the training mode before I actually play the real thing, or to figure them out and stuff like that. Because I don't know, the thing is, I've been good at a lot of things in my life, but because of being good at things, it made me like a perfectionist, and it made me like scared to lose. And I think that's like maybe it's an insecurity that maybe serves me in life, but I am sometimes kind of insecure about that. All right. Do you have anything that like you're,
Yeah, no, that's
that you're insecure about?
But
right?
That's okay.
Does that make sense?
That's for the narrative, yeah.
So that's narrative,
Yeah.
right? Because we're in a narrative line, right? Do you know what surprises me about you?
What?
I'm gonna make something completely different, like, completely about you that I've never made up. Okay? You know what surprises me about you? So you have those like the beads and stuff like that, which is very like hippie, right? It makes me think like yoga, crunchy, hippie, bullshit, vegan, whatever. But you're actually not completely full of shit and boring. So I sort of tolerate you. There you go. I just made it up, right? I've never said that before. And I just went with the first observation and went with something I said. You could do that.
Yeah, no, I've been trying, but I have to say, it doesn't come out like as naturally.
Practice.
Do. Lots of times I give a canned line and then I'm like, what do I say now? I'm like,
okay, so you're going to do it on Nick. You're going to say, you know what surprises me about you to Nick. He's going to answer, and then you have to tell him what surprises you about him. Go.
Do you know what surprises me about you?
What?
Sometimes when you talk, I can't really understand what you're saying. Even though you're from like really around here, you're not supposed to have such an accent.
Awesome. That was great. Would that, hands up, would that work in set?
Yeah, I think.
Absolutely would work in set. That was great. And the thing is, by just even framing it the right way, do you know what surprises me about you? Almost anything you say after that is going to be intriguing, right? And it's almost going to have a push-pull to it by nature as well. So the hardest part, like, yes, the bullshitting afterwards, yeah, I mean, there's a technique to making it better or worse. But as long as you're in the right category and going in the right direction, it's never going to be that bad. That's the thing I want you guys to understand, right? As long as you're talking from the right frame and the right category, it doesn't have to be genius.